Om Shri Sai Ram. With humility and love, I offer myself at the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagwan. Most beloved and dearest Bhagwan, I pray to you that you give us all the understanding that it is you who speaks, it is you who listens, it is you who is motivating, inspiring all of us with your infinite love and blessings. Respected and dear elders, brothers and sisters, a very, very loving Sai Ram to all of you. Sai Ram sir, and thank you very much for your kind words of introduction. Speaking in Swami's presence is one of the most difficult things, I believe. I've not been able to get well trained, I think. That's what I think. But I take inspiration from some of our senior alumni. Suddenly Swami used to select someone and say, "Aaj baat karta hai?" And then pat their reply was, "Swami, we have never spoken or we don't know." And then immediately Swami would say, it seems, "You're not speaking, you're narrating. Jo dil mein aayega, wo baat karo." So praying to Swami to inspire, to speak that it is He who speaks and inspires all of us today. As much as it is a satsang, it is also, I believe, that it is a great inspiration for me to be amidst all of you today, planting the seed and in the part of Bhagwan's centenary celebrations. One of the alumni, during an interview with Swami, before he was passing out or graduating from the university, he was praying to Swami, "Swami, I would be missing your physical presence. I would be missing these interactions. How do I connect with you?" And Swami said, "Remember these wonderful experiences that you have got. Keep remembering and keep sharing. That will make you feel better." And today, as a neuroscientist researcher, the science research so far at least hypothesizes and to a great extent claims that our mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. So which means when we are remembering an experience, we are reliving it. And similarly, when we are imagining someone's experience of them sharing, even we are a part of that. That is how our beautiful satsang sessions are, so that each one of us give and take from each other. And what do we talk about such a beloved Bhagwan of ours, such an avatar? So many things to say, so many things to start with. I thought I'll take inspiration from a few lines of a beautiful Qawwali. Let me just sing a couple of lines for you. कौन है जिसने तला तुमने मुझे थाम लिया? Who is he who held me steady during the storm? Who is he? कौन है जिसने किनारे पे लगा दी है मेरी कश्ती? Who is it that brought my boat, or that brought me across the shores towards the shore, like from the ocean to the shore? Who is it that who brought me, who was able to make me cross? कौन है जिसने ज़माने के जुल्म खुद सहकर अपने सीने में छुपा ली? Who is it who has digested everything, every trouble into himself? मेरी फाका मस्ती हाजी वो कौन है, वो कौन है, कौन है वो कौन है? reply comes, प्यार है वो प्यार खुदा का, खुदा के प्यार की सूरत बयां नहीं होती, नहीं होती, बयां नहीं होती, साई के प्यार की सूरत बयां नहीं होती, साई के प्यार की, साई के प्यार की सूरत. The form of Bhagwan's love cannot be described because he is love himself. He is love himself. Love all, serve all is what he stood for during his lifetime. Physically, then, now, and forever. He would stand for love all and serve all. And what is the best gift that we can give him on his centennial year, or every day for that matter, is just love him back. But how do we do that? It is extremely difficult. So there was a retreat that I attended last year, and the speaker very nicely put this. How do we love someone? The first step would be to know somebody, right? Before we say I love someone, I would have to know about them. Knowing Swami is impossible, right? So at least let us try to understand from the experiences of other devotees, listen from them as to what Swami taught them, what Swami taught us. And with his human form, his infinite love, it is very easy that we can forget who he is, whatever background that we come from. During one interview in the 90s, Swami was engaging with the crowd, with the members in the interview room and talking about Bharatiya culture. And all of a sudden, Swami called this devotee and said, "It's going to rain heavily now." And then this devotee went towards the window and stood there, and he saw that all of a sudden, out of the blue, thick black clouds and started pouring. And then Swami said, "Now it will stop and there will be heavy sunshine. It's going to be just scorching heat." And then as Swami said, the same thing happened. And then he said, "Now you will see so much wind coming." And then this devotee who was in the interview room was describing that the gusts of wind were so strong that the students and devotees who sat in the front, their white sleeves were fluttering. And then Swami said in Telugu, "Sarva devata tita swarupam dharinchi uchina manavakarame ee akaram." Means Sarva devata tita swarupam, that is beyond all the forms, who, like the cosmic consciousness that represents the formless nature beyond all the forms, has taken a human form and come in front of us. But yet again, we keep wanting to doubt. We keep wanting to prove, means wanting him to prove us, "Swami, are you God? Are you really God? Are you really divine? How do I believe?" And evidently it seems Swami told this to a senior devotee, that if you have a doubt, test me. And once I prove it to you, hold on steady, because the mind is very fickle. So now, giving a small background about where I come from. I come from a family of devotees, I can say so. I was fortunate to be born in the Sri Satya Sai district, and my father was a Balvika student, and my grandfather was also a part of Sri Satya Sai Seva organizations. However, my mother was not from the Sai circle. But for me, Swami was just a photograph in the altar, because I was told that he is God, and I just believed from childhood. And to one of our teachers in Vrindavan, once Swami had asked, "What is the distance between you and me?" So he very diligently kind of looked and said, "Swami, 3 feet." And Swami again asked, "What is the distance between me and you?" And this kept repeating, and then Sir understood that, okay, Swami is trying to tell something deeper here. And then Swami said, the distance between you and me is the distance between me and you. So wherever you place me is where I'm going to stay. So you want to treat me as a photograph in an altar and be like a wish fulfilling tree? I would be that. I would give you what you want. You want me to be a friend? I will be a friend. So Swami kind of gave us the freedom to choose who you want me to be, I will be that. But all I want is just love. So with that, for me, he was just, a photograph in an altar, nothing more. I used to pray to him. And once I became a student, I started hearing two different sets of stories. One set of stories are about Swami's wonderful creations, miracles as they call it, Swami saving someone, somebody who was in the deathbed, and lo and behold, Swami just touched them and they got cured, or Swami telling cancer cancelled. Those, on the other hand, about Swami's teachings and Swami's love, but somehow the first part of miracles attracted me then. So I used to be very fond of creations and I really wanted Swami to create something for me. But 2009 was like the time possibly on an everyday basis there used to be at least 10,000 or 20,000 devotees in Mandir. That was the Satyasai Vaibhavam, we could say so. Like earlier devotees used to say how it was very easy to access Swami, but when I was a school student, Swami was not as accessible because Swami, like by then all the large scale projects had come up. So the daily interaction was not possible, but I really wanted Swami to create something for me. But that, wanting or desire led for some reason into, is Swami really creating? What is happening? Are you really God, Swami? Why don't I get these experiences? Those kind of stories that the mind plays. And then I succumbed to it and I fell into the trap. But then for every test, for every challenge, Swami's answer is love. So it was in my 12th standard, and I had still not joined the bhajan group. So we used to go in lines and then get seated based on first come, first serve. And in Kulwant Hall, one day I decided I am going to test today for myself. Because Swami, I'm not happy with the feeling that I am doubting you. I know that you are my everything, but I'm not happy with this feeling that I'm having these doubts. And I don't know whom to share this with. So this was the kind of thought process that was going on. So I thought one day I'm going to sit and see for myself, and then from that day everything will be fine. So I went to Mandir. Incidentally, this was in July 2010, and it was USA's pilgrimage. I still remember 2010, and I was like, if this is Swami's stage, I was seated on the steps which were down, like a few steps were there from Swami's stage, leading to the ground. So I sat in a corner like this, from where I can directly see Swami, and I can see Swami creating. So I decided that today, some devotee after the drama or program is going to get a chain or ring or something, and I will see, and today is the day. And I was waiting for it. Swami called a small kid, and Swami's hand started, waving. And then, I don't know, for some reason, the photographer next to me or someone just stamped me or pinched me. I don't know, like it just happened that I turned myself and I turned back looking at Swami. Swami's already putting the chain on that boy. I said, Swami, unfair. It's just not done, Swami. I'm not going to be done with this. I didn't have anything else in my mind. All that I wanted was I will see for myself and my doubts would go away. What did I do wrong in this? Was this not genuine? No, these were the kind of thoughts that was going in my mind. Let me stop this story here and take you to the 80s. And this is a story that, again, I heard very, very recently of a senior alumnus in the 80s. So it seems he went through a very similar phase, but he was getting a lot of chances from Swami. He's a wonderful Veena player, but he also had these kind of doubts. And to stay honest to what he was feeling inside, he was not going into the interview room to do Pada Seva or anything. He was sitting behind. And one particular day when Swami called the music group, another set of students, Sir was sitting behind. And then after the whole thing got over, in front of everyone, Swami pointed to this Sir and asked, "Hey, you have your doubts, right? Come here." And then Swami called him and then told him to Chai Japu, Chai Japchipettu Dunnapota. I mean, Swami told in Telugu, like, open your hands like this and hold it. And then Swami lifted both his sleeves and he did like this, and laddu fell in his hand. And then Swami asked, "Are you satisfied now?" So this was physically when Swami was accessible. And now I am in 2010. Swami was literally inaccessible to a normal student. And that day, when I actually wanted to see, he apparently took away that chance. But a day or two later, I had this dream. So Swami by then, in 2010, was seated on a wheelchair. And from a physical point of view, Swami was weak because he was not talking much. His body had already been 85 years old, and he had done so much that the body started showing signs of becoming weaker, or that's how he chose to show it to all of us. So in the dream, I'm sitting in the first line, and then during the bhajans, Swami calls me. And I go to Swami, and no telling anything, I directly blurt out, "Swami, chain." Nothing in the dream, I directly tell Swami, "Swami, chain." And Swami takes his hand, starts to create, starts to wave, and look at this mind. In the dream, I hold Swami's hand, I stop from waving, and I open it. I flip it. And in that, I'm seeing the threads of chain, hanging out. And this restless mind, I pulled that chain out. And physically, in that dream also, Swami was older. He did that pain kind of a thing. And I kept pulling out. And then after I pulled, I told Swami, "Swami, put it on my neck." He put it around, and then he asked, "Ippudu santoshama? Are you happy now?" In 80s, he physically attended to that one student. In 2010, he attended to this one student. If two devotees out of millions of devotees chose to not believe him, wouldn't have mattered to his Vaibhavam or his glory. What would have happened if I said, "Okay, Swami, I don't believe you"? But it did not matter to him. Every last person mattered. I have not got an interview from Swami. I've never been able to go to Kodaikanal. I was never fortunate to have detailed, long discussions. But do I feel left out? Do I feel less fortunate? Absolutely not. And let me share more stories on that. So once this experience happened to me as a 12th class kid, my focus started more on knowing more about Swami, learning from teachers, elders, how Swami was, how Swami taught things. And the biggest surprise to me was Swami's focus was on the smallest of things. Smallest. The last thing that we think is important was the most important for Swami. we have this beautiful bhajan, right? दीन दुखियों से प्रेम करो मेरा साई प्रसन्न होगा. He literally showed this. He lived this life. Not just about Dina Dukhiyon, but for everyone. Everyone. So here is a story again narrated to me by my teacher in Brindavan. So it was one of the days in Kodaikanal, and I'm sure there are so many elders here who have been to Kodaikanal with Swami and have had the fortune of staying for possibly months. And during Kodaikanal, one of the practices was Swami would give money to students and say, go buy gifts for your parents. Go around to the market, go buy gifts for your parents. So a few students happened to go to this Tibetan shop where they were selling shawls. So, and they bought those for parents, and Swami said, actually this material looks good. And Swami asked this teacher in charge, he was also the in charge of stores, the general stores in the hostel and in the Brindavan ashram. So Swami asked him, go find out how much they are selling it for. And Swami, in fact, it seems, gave money and said, buy the whole thing and come. And this sir, being the store's in charge and he's a commerce teacher, he thought from a business point of view. He went there, he checked what are the rates, and he thought maybe it was costly per piece, like per blanket it was costly than what it should be. So he found out, he went back and found out found out from where they were buying from. And he thought from there, if we could ship it to the ashram, it would be a good deal. I would have saved Swami's money and Swami would be very, very happy with me, is what he thought. And after 2 days, Swami called him and asked, I asked you about this. You didn't get back. Generally, it seems when Swami gives you a duty, you have to get back. But sir was doing this research of how do we ship that and things like that. It took some time. So when Swami asked, he immediately went and told Swami this whole thing. Swami, per piece, he's charging this. If we buy the whole thing, we would be losing on something. But if we can get from the direct factory outlet or something, we will be able to save. And then sir told us the way Swami admonished him or scolded him. And then the whole point was, Swami said, I'm not looking to buy those shawls for the sake of buying. These were the Tibetan shawl makers, like the people who used to be there when Swami had been to Kashmir on the tour. And that time, after that, during the Tibetan war and thing, during that time, they were made to vacate and then they were thrown out from that area because of the fights. So he said they had to be displaced to other places. And so they have chosen these kind of cold places to stay so that they can be comfortable. At the same time, only when someone like me comes to Kodaikanal, they get their business done. Throughout the year, their business does not happen. And this is the least that I can do for them. Just go buy their entire shops. Because I have to take care of them. So when Swami went to Kodaikanal, his thought process was not just about students or the people there, but it also was about the shopkeepers who have their businesses done. Very similar thing happened, it's during one of the Swami's birthdays. So this was an IPS officer who was posted in the Anantapur district. That time he narrated this experience where for Swami's birthday, even in the 70s, 80s, there were a lot of devotees who were coming. So what used to happen was the Puttaparthi railway station was not yet opened. So they had to come until Dharmavaram. And then from Dharmavaram railway station, they used to take a tonga those days, like a cart. And then from there till bus stand. And from the bus stand, they used to get the buses. This was what was happening. Now, through this government officers and the organization working together, they had come to an understanding that we can request those buses, at least during this time, to start instead from the bus stand, they can go to railway station and start the buses, because most of the devotees are going to get down in the railway station. So this was the deal that they came up with. But immediately Swami's response, it seems, was those Tongawalas will lose out their business. And it seems in those days, Swami told each one of them something like 500 or 1000 rupees. Swami told, give them. Say that this is Swami's prasadam, because the buses are going to directly take the devotees and you lose out on business. And so this is why, means Swami gave them money. And they were all in tears, thinking, how is it that he's able to think of this last person in the whole chain? Yes, we are serving the devotees, but he was also looking at somebody who possibly might be benefited, and he wanted to make sure that even they were happy. The last things that we do not think about, he thinks about it. There was a devotee in Brindavan, very senior devotee. His name is Ramabrahmam Garu. He was having diabetes, and Swami was not taking him to Kodaikanal. And so Swami left a student in Brindavan saying, you take care of him, and he has diabetes, so he keeps wanting to use the restroom often. So if he wakes you up, don't sleep off. Just handhold him, because he's old. So one night, it seems Ramam Garu called this sir of ours a couple of times, but sir had fallen asleep. And next morning, Ramabrahmam Garu told this sir, brother, I called you multiple times. You did not respond to me. So I prayed. Suddenly I saw that Swami came. Swami was physically in Kodaikanal. And he said, suddenly Swami came, held my hand, took me to the restroom, came back, and Swami in fact cleaned the restroom after I came back. And sir very promptly thought, maybe due to old age, Ramabrahmam Garu might be hallucinating, or maybe it could have been a dream for all that. But when Swami came back to Brindavan from Kodaikanal, while he got down the car, it seems the first thing he told sir was, you made me clean a bathroom. Just to make sure that he knows that it was Swami who was there. And if for the sake of a devotee, he's ready to clean toilets. And what more of an example of love do we need? Nothing more. We can keep talking like this, and he knows the best that we need. We don't need to ask him also sometimes. My father was a part of Balavikas, and as I told you before, Puttaparthi did not have a railway station. So Dharmavaram railway station used to be the point. My grandfather worked for the Indian Railways, and after graduation, my father also that was Swami's 60th birthday, I think. So my father was also actively involved in the celebrations, and after graduation, he thought for a few days he'll take off and he will work in the railways and help, because a lot of parcels would be coming for Prashanti Nilayam. And so the Dharmavaram Sevadal's duty was pick up all those and then send it to Parthi. That was their seva and contribution to Swami's birthday that year. So my father was very actively involved in that, and he was so happy doing it for the few months. And then Swami's birthday got over, and then Swami was also very happy and pleased with the devotees. So he said, call all the Dharmavaram Sevadals who worked for this. I'm going to give them clothes from my hand personally. So my father was on cloud 9. He was so happy that he was going to receive clothes from Bhagwan. But somehow, when they went to Mandir and sat and the names were read, my father's name got missed out. So my father could not go to Swami directly, but he was started feeling very bad. Why is it that Swami is doing like this to me? And in front of Swami, this happened that my name got swapped. And Swami knows everything, but despite that, he's allowed this to happen. He was angry, but he was also upset. And then that day, Swami gave Pad Namaskar to everyone. So my father took Pad Namaskar. Right away, he left because he had an interview to attend. And some elders tried to convince him, but my father was not willing to get convinced. He was so upset. But one senior devotee just told him, uh, Swami's delays are not his denials, and he definitely has a bigger plan for you. You may not know it now, but just trust me. And then he goes to the interview, and his name was called in the almost in the last 3 or 4, so it was in the evening when he went. And when they were opening his files, the interviewer directly went to the last set of folders. And because he was in Parthi before going to the interview, he had no time to arrange his file. So my uncle came and gave the file of certificates, and he just took it directly. And when the interviewer saw, his eyes first fell on the unarranged Sevadal training certificates from Swami's organization. So right after he saw, oh, Satya Sai Seva organization, so are you a devotee? So my father did not expect this kind of a question in an interview, in a formal interview. Said, yes, sir. And then the interviewer asked, you don't have vibhuti on your forehead? Said, sir, I came in the morning. So I put it, but by now it must have gone because of the sweat. Do you have a photograph of Swami? And he showed Swami's photograph. And with that, my father got tremendous confidence that it started on with a note on Swami. And the interviewer also promptly said, okay, your personal profile looks really good. Let's go into your work. And then the interview went so well. Needless to say, that day my father got job, and for the next 38 years he worked in the same company. He might not have given a safari on that day, but he gave a livelihood. And his delays, again, how he responds to us, we do not know. It's absolutely not in our control. But all we can do is, Swami, you know what is best for us, and please help us. This is a very sweet incident that, again, one of my teachers narrated to me. When he was in primary school, Swami used to go to the school classrooms to give prizes after sports meet. And their prizes used to be like volleyball or some kits or pens, crayons or books, some things that kids would like and personally Swami would call all the prize winners, like the teachers used to call out the names of prize winners, and then Swami used to give them. It seems it was Sir's class, and they started calling out names of students. And it seems there were 2 students of one name, and then the teacher called out a name, and the student who was not supposed to be going there stood up and came into the line. And the teacher was trying to tell him, give him a signal that it's not you. It's not you. Go sit down. Go sit down. But he was not listening. He was very confidently staying. And Sir tells us that the background of this student is that this student did not have a father. He did not have a father, and he was just standing there confidently. I'm going to go near Swami. What is there? So his turn came. By then, all the gifts got over. So there was no bag. This boy was standing in front of Swami, and Swami was standing. The teacher is standing. There is no gift left. And it seems what Swami did was, Swami sat down, took this boy, and made him sit on his lap. And Sir tells that he remembers this story whenever he remembers Dhruva's story. He knows what to give. All that we need to know is just ask him from the bottom of our hearts. Wonderful, wonderful experiences. Physically, he was there to train us, to teach us everything. But what about now? How do we connect to him? How do we interact with him? How do we obtain this love from him? And how do we give out this love? So again, let me go back to my 12th standard. It seems during Chitravati days, Swami had told devotees that there will be a time when the crowds in Prashanti Nilayam will be so much that even looking at a little bit of my hair or the color of my robe, you will be satisfied that you have had my darshan. And devotees did not believe it then. It's like every day Swami is getting us to Chitravati, creating candies, doing everything. What is what is there? He will definitely have it in some form or the other. But those days did come. It was my birthday in my 12th standard, and that day we were in the class, and suddenly somebody screamed saying, "Swami is going on the road, like in the car. Swami is driving somewhere." So all of us went to the window, and by the time I went, Swami's car had slightly passed forward, so which means I saw the corner view. So I could actually see Swami's backside of his hair, the halo hair, and then Swami's robe. And I was so happy that I had Swami's darshan. Today is my birthday. Before evening, Swami gave me a bonus darshan. I was very happy. And then I was all set to go to Mandir the evening, because on birthday you can take a tray to Swami, and then Swami would take akshatas and yellow rice and then uh, put it on your head, and small, another opportunity to take Swami's Pad Namaskar. But somehow that evening Swami did not come for darshan. So darshans started becoming rare again in the year 2010-11, owing to Swami's physical health. So, but I was not convinced. I was very, very upset. And I did not know how to show that, but I kept writing letter whole day. I was not happy at all. And then next day, Swami came, and he did not even come to the gents' side. He directly cut from ladies' side and went on to the throne. And that upset me even more, because if Swami came in the lines, we could have at least stood and showed the tray and get blessed. No. But later, somehow during the bhajans, I got the blessing that Swami looked at me and said, "Come." And then I went on to the stage. Swami put akshatas, and then I felt happy, at least awake, consoled. And mark now to 2012. This is my second year undergraduation, and I'm in Brindavan campus. Physically, Swami is not there. So what do I do? So I decided to try Brindavan. I would go with a chocolate. So Trai Brindavan was the residence where Swami lived in Brindavan. And then, so we used to go around Trai, walk do pradakshina around Trai. And every evening after bhajans, if Swami was there in Vrindavan, he used to call the devotees or students into the chambers and give informal discourses. So therefore, with that thought, I took a chocolate, I took a big bar, chocolate bar, and then went and put it near Swami's door. I did a pradakshina, I came back, and then I just did one namaskar in front of Swami's door. And then during the namaskar, I was trying to visualize that Swami was putting akshatas on my head. And then tap, one flower which was, hanging on the door falls on my head. And he knows how to bless. Like, all that I tried doing was, if he is there today, this is what I would do. Swami, I'm giving you a chocolate. And then in his own way, he just showed that I also acknowledge that this is your birthday and here is my blessing. Again, to my 12th standard, one day a faculty of ours was talking during a class, and then he told us, the life in Parthi is like we wear white dress, even in school, we wear white dress to Mandir. So sometimes the whites tend to become yellows with overusage. So white, cream, yellow, worst case brown, but doesn't go there. So whenever we had these Aarti chants or a rose chants, would be the days for us to inaugurate our white clothes, new white clothes. Because, okay, we are going to go to Swami because he's going to talk to us, so let's be dressed the best. So sir asked this question. He put a seed in our heads saying, so on the days you give rose and arati or you have an interaction with Swami, you get dressed so well, right? Why don't you do that on normal days? Are you already assuming that Swami is not going to talk to you? Because he would reflect the same thing, right? And that intrigued me a lot. So I decided I'm going to have two sets of pairs now. So the older yellow pairs for school and college, and white pairs to Mandir. So when I go to Mandir, I will, yeah, there can be another question. So did you expect Swami is not there in school or college? I, that's where I could go with that maturity, I think. So in Mandir, I would wear new whites. And as I told, it was January, February 2011, and Swami's health again was very, very deteriorating physically. And so he started coming and giving darshans in car. So Swami would come in car, give rounds, and sometimes even take some offer when they offer arti also. Swami would still be seated in the car. So the whole darshan would be from the car. So again, accessing Swami even on the coming on the chair became rare. So one particular day there was a project and I had to stay late in the school, and so I could not go and sit with the bhajan group singers that day. But I had these whites that would definitely make me feel, if I'm sitting with the set of students, it would look like, okay, his whites are possibly new. So that day I sat in the alumni students block. I went late, and somehow Swami came that day on the chair. And again, I felt very bad that Swami today properly came in chair. Means Swami was not coming in car, but I missed out because of this project. And it was almost close to 8 months I was doing this practice was going on. And then suddenly one brother comes up to me and says, today there is prasadam because Swami is seated on the throne and he's not in the car. We thought of distributing prasadam. Your whites look clean. Would you want to go and do the prasadam blessings? I said, absolutely. So I hurriedly left, and then I think that is the picture. So I went, and what I did not observe was, as I was serving the prasadam, it seems Swami was observing me. Like, because to Swami, how you give prasadam is very important. You cannot give it and say, give it to others, pass it on. He would want us to go to every devotee, student who is there, and then give them personally. And I felt very happy that just like that, Swami showed his presence. And this practice I continued even after Samadhi, Swami's Mahasamadhi. I used to have very unique whites for the mandir. And somewhere during my postgraduate master's time, I got this thought of, am I going to mandir only because I get a chance to sing, or am I going to have Swami's darshan? So with that thought process, I decided that whether we are singing or the devotees are singing that day, it doesn't matter. I am going to go to mandir to have Swami's darshan. So even if our games was there or whatever was there, I used to somehow sneak in and go to mandir and be seated. So it was a Partiyatra program. The devotees were made to sing, and they were singing bhajans. And all of a sudden, they had to go for a photograph. And the trustees looked at me and said, go and sing. And the day where I was not prepared to, I thought I may not get a chance because it's devotee's turn. Swami gave me a chance, again acknowledging that you do your duty or whatever you think as your offering, and I am listening and I am watching always. And these are not just the lessons at his lotus feet. These are ongoing experiences every time. So this happened after I came to the US. I generally go to the gym to work out. And one particular day I was doing this particular workout called bench press. And then I was trying to, you lie down and just lift the barbell. Simple thing. And I was doing the number of reps. I wanted to repeat it for 5 times, but somehow it had become very, very challenging by the third or fourth. So all of a sudden, I got this crazy thought, Swami, if you really love me, I should finish this. So I don't know why I got that thought, but I did that and I finished. Just struggled and I finished. Over. I came back and I was unmounting the weight, and very, very promptly, I dropped a 25-pound bar on my feet. Just that second, this thought came to my mind, I love you, but don't ever mess with me. Immediately, like, it was not a big injury, thankfully. It's just a. But his way of telling that, if you need help, call. Don't, if don't test me, like, that was the thought that I got. And next time, I decided I won't play such games with Swami. But I was trying a very higher weight. So this time it was much more than the last time. But I decided that there was a person standing in the next rack, and I would call them for help if I get stuck. And I'm not going to challenge Swami like this. So I did, and the fourth rep I promptly failed. So I was lying with close to 135 pounds and this bar and everything almost near my neck. And I was trying to reach out this person saying, hey, I got stuck here, come and help me. And before I could say something to this person, there was another person who came running from behind, unmounted it, and asked, are you okay? I said, fine. And then I asked, I didn't call you, I was trying to call that person. And then this other person who attended to me said, I was watching, 4 times it went down, it was not coming up, so I came. And that gave me this thought that we have definitions of how Swami is supposed to come to save us. This is how I want Swami to help me. This is what I want. And when this person told me that, like, he was watching me for so much time and then realized that I failed, there are multiple avatars of Swami through each one of us who is waiting to help us in some form or the other. And why do we have to restrict him to say, Swami, this is how you're supposed to help me? Again, the distance between you and me is the distance between me and you, Swami. That's the lesson that I learned from that experience. Every time we look up to him and just offer, he knows he might take us till the tipping point, but he's just there. Before finishing, I just wanted to narrate a last experience. Again, back to my 12th standard. So, 12th standard students get to present their projects to Swami. And each of the subjects, however insignificant, again, we had the fortune to just go show the write-up to Swami and say, Swami, this is what we worked on. Computer science students would show computer projects. Each student would have different thing. Whereas a class of students, that is, I was in the math, physics, chemistry, and Sanskrit. Our combination was not able to show anything and get blessed because life sciences students had an opportunity. Each subject had it. So I went to the warden and I told, sir, somehow our group of students are missing out on a chance with Bhagwan. Please make sure that we get a chance. And somehow he helped us, and we got this opportunity, and a little bit of, pride came into being that, okay, I got the chances, and I spoke for my classmates and I made sure that we all got chance in front of Bhagwan. So, and sir told us, see, now one subject students are getting showing their projects. Once they get blessed, then you guys go ahead and sit. So those days, darshans became rare. So not every day Swami used to come to Mandir. So one particular day, Swami came, and the darshan got over at 9:30. He called the students for blessing the projects at 9:30. and it took another half an hour. So I had made this theory in my mind that today Swami came to Mandir, which means tomorrow he may not come. And even if he comes, he's not going to call students for blessing. So this was the theory that I made. Again, the mind trying to predict the infinite consciousness, right? Trying to make a theory. So, and sir sent word to us that today you guys can take your projects. I took my project, walked out of hostel, and midway again re-emphasized that yesterday Swami blessed the project, today he's not going to bless. Even, and he may possibly not come today. So look at my audacity. I took the project back to hostel, placed it in my room and said, I'll improve it and take a fresh printout later. And as you all will be rightly guessing, first shock, Swami came. I'm saying I got shocked. Second shock, Swami called the projects for blessings. So here, slowly, all the identities and narratives that I had constructed, Swami was eliminating one. So you thought that I'm not going to come today, I came. You thought I would not call, I called. So do you think that you made sure that they were getting their projects blessed? Absolutely not. So, and here I was, guilty, blaming myself, cursing myself. I'm not blessed. Maybe my bad karma. I don't know what I did in my previous janma. This whole narrative, what happens, close your eyes, and I'm so not in the right frame of mind. Swami is sitting right in front, he's blessing, but we start comparing. When at least I started to compare, okay, they are getting a photograph, they are getting blessed, I'm not getting blessed. That gets into this whole unnecessary mental conversation. And I was mostly upset that I lost out on a chance. And looking back, I would have had a few more photographs, I would have had another conversation, and I missed out. At that time, I got mic, me and my partner, bhajan partner, we got mic to sing our bhajan. And at that time, there were fast-paced bhajans going. So we selected Sai Hamara Hum Sai Ke Aisa Prem Hamara. I was not ready to reflect on the words. Aisa Prem Hamara. No. But somewhere Sai Hamara Hum Sai Ke was there. But loaded with emotion that why am I not getting blessed, Swami? Why did I do this? And I was completely closing my eyes. I did not open my eyes because I was scared that while singing, I would break down and things like that. So I kept my eyes closed. I just finished the bhajan and not talking to anybody, silently walking out. And then one of my friend comes, my classmate. He came to me, and so at that time, whoever is close to Swami, or if Swami would give a lot of attention to someone for that day or for that moment for a few days, we used to call them saying, you are in form, hey, you're in form, you know. So that boy came to me and said, you're blessed, Ananth, you're so blessed. I told him, I'm not in the mood for this, brother. I know what happened. You got blessings, right? Feel happy for you. Leave it. And then I went back to hostel, and there is this other brother who came, and he was giving vibhuti that Swami had given it to him, and he was sharing it with others. And I felt happy that at least I was getting something. And he again said, brother, you're really blessed. I said, why are you all coming on to me now? I didn't do anything and I didn't get anything. If at all, I lost out on the whole opportunity. And then he said, no, wait, let me tell you. When I was, like, he told me that when he was standing like in front of Swami showing his project, Swami looked at a few pages, asked him what it was, and then it seems my bhajan started. And then when I started singing, Swami kind of indicated him to slightly move, and Swami started looking at the singer. And it seems Swami followed that bhajan and playing talam, like putting talam with his hands, fingers like this, and he was following the bhajan. And this brother got to stay in front of Swami during that process and witness it. And who did not witness it? So Swami says, look up to me so that you know that I'm looking at you. When you look to me, I look to you. Not that he's not looking at me when we don't. But when we look is when we know that he's all the time looking. And I was blissfully unaware or unblissfully unaware that here I'm just missing out on all this love and blessings. And when he told it, I felt happy. At least some kind of a consolation. But still, I lost out on a photograph. I lost out on, telling. I think over a period of time with introspection, I realized with being private with Swami and public, only difference is others acknowledging and we convincing others or showing it to others that we had so and so. Or we look for an evidence and validation from others to know that we are blessed. That's what at least happened with me. I was trying to look for ways so that others would tell that, wow. But here he was trying to show me. Fast forward 10 years, 2021, I finished my PhD thesis. And again, this whole process of me and my friend, we were talking with each other. And we said, Swami used to be very, very eager to see the results or thesis of students, especially PhD scholars. So we decided that we are going to show our thesis first to Swami before we see ourselves. So there was no printing press in Prashantinilayam, means at least the PhD thesis kind of a printing press. So we sent it to Anantapur in bus. So that person sent back the thesis in bus and we took the carton box and we straight drove towards Yajur Mandir. Yajur Mandir is where Swami stayed in Prashantinilayam. And so we told the Sevadal, sir, can you take this carton box to Swami's door and open the thesis and place it near Swami's door so that it will be, convincing for us to say that Swami saw our thesis first. So we did that and then we came back, thick of pandemic, 2021 November. So Mandir darshans were not happening. They used to only come towards the end. So Bhajan group had this greatest fortune, Bhajan group and Vedam group. Because sometimes it used to be just that 3 of us or 4 of us in the Mandir, in the Kulwant hall singing bhajans to Swami. Like in temples they say Ekanta Seva, right? You sing for the Lord and that's it. So no public. So we were told again and again by our elders that you are representing every devotee at this time. You are giving their prayers to Swami. So with that as a blessing, I could go to Mandir for the bhajans. So I took permission for this other brother also saying even he's having his PhD thesis blessed. And then we both decided that we'll keep the thesis again at Swami's shrine in the bhajan hall. Because Swami's Maha Samadhi Sannidhi was not open to public and even for devotees, and we could not also go and touch because of sanitization protocols. And with all this, we brought our thesis to Bhajan Hall and we felt happy, and at least I felt completely satisfied. Then this brother said, Ananth, let's take our thesis and go in front of Swami's throne also outside, because that's Swami's Sannidhi, right? I said, brother, they're not going to allow us to go near Swami. He said, that's okay. Let's just hold the thesis like this and show Swami and walk. I said, okay. And then while we were walking, the in-charge asked us to step aside. And he said, what is this, thesis? I said, yes, sir. Oh, you finished PhD? I said, yes. He'd never spoken to us before. Means we know that he exists. He knows that we exist. That's it. We never spoke before. And he called us and he said, stand in the side. And I told him, sir, we already got blessings in the bhajan hall. He said, no, stand. So I was thinking he's again going to take us to bhajan hall. And then after the devotees finished their darshan, before the second Mangala Arati, before finishing or closing the screens for Swami's Mahasamadhi, he parted and told, there were this partitions. He told us, just go and get blessings. And here, 2021, November, I was going with my thesis. I had all the time in the world to show page by page to Swami. And as I was showing and coming back is when I realized that 10 years back, I thought I could not show him my 12th standard project. And here I am showing my thesis, PhD thesis, a very, very unique thing that is possibly, I can say, that's more of my project. And then gratitude and nothing more was what came to me at that time. Just staying and praying to him that, Swami, you know best. You know what to give us, when to give us, can make him instantly talk to us. I will just close with this last thing. There was this retreat. Again, as I told you before, we were singing during the pandemic mornings and evenings, and just a few of us had that blessing. And all of a sudden, after my graduation, I come to the US for a postdoc. And the city that I am in does not have a Sai center. We don't sing bhajans. So someone who was singing bhajans per day, like 5 bhajans a day, like maximum of 5 bhajans a day, to not getting to sing bhajans at all, not getting to it, I was feeling very, very miserable. But that also begged that question: do I sing bhajans only if there is a center? Should I sing bhajans only if there is a mic and people to follow? Why cannot I offer bhajans to Swami? And he would listen. So I went and bought a chair, and then I kept that chair in my room as Swami's chair, and I started practicing singing, or whenever possible, singing bhajans. And then later on, when I went to this retreat in North Carolina, the speaker told me, the speaker told in his, one of the speakers told in his talk that he used to, before he met Swami physically, he used to always hug Swami's photograph. And years later, when he actually got an opportunity to have an interview, Swami hugged him, showing him that what you did for a photograph, I know. Even with when I'm physically not there, I know what you were doing. So when I heard this, as soon as I came back after this wonderful retreat, I went and I hugged Swami's chair and felt very good, and also showed my gratitude to Swami, saying, thank you for giving me this opportunity in the retreat. So I had prepared for a workshop based on Swami's compositions. And that, especially the song called Satya Dharma Mo Shanti Premalato Ni Nitya Jivana Yatra Saginchu Jiva. Swami just says, using Satya Dharma Shanti Prema, just take these along with your life. And we were trying to explore this song in that workshop, but somehow I did not get an opportunity to present this whole thing. And after I came back, I had a dream where Swami calls me in the dream and asked me to sing this song. And when I sang this song, Swami started correcting me, saying this is how. He was keenly listening because it was his composition. And it was a way to show me that yes, I was there in the retreat. I know what you've prepared. I am a very, very active part of your conversations. And what else do we need from him to keep, proving to us that he's always there? So just that, I pray to Swami that let me acknowledge his presence. Let us all acknowledge his presence with us, time in and time out, and feel his love. So when a brother was telling me, you must have had amazing experiences when you were with Swami in Prashanti Nilayam, I said, brother, I might want to correct that statement. I am having wonderful experiences with Swami because he's always there waiting to show his love. It's just that at some times we might go astray, but he's always there to get us back on track and again show us that I am there with you wherever you are. With these words, thank you very, very much. And as I told you, I do not get to participate in Swami's activities actively in a center. So when I come and meet with the Sai family like this is a blessing for a lifetime. And as one of the Kavalis says, कि याद रखने की बात आती है कहाँ, साई के दर पे आकर और साथ उनके रहकर, बात उनकी सुनकर, नजर से नजर मिलाकर, मैं भूलूं कैसे, मैं भूलूं कैसे. मौका ऐसा मिले ना मिले, याद रख लो हरदम, याद रख लो दिल में उसे, याद रख लो दिल में उसे, याद रख लो. So remembering these wonderful, wonderful instances of interaction in Swami's physical presence and his divine presence and interacting with his messengers and devotees, I feel really blessed. Thank you very much for having me here. With gratitude, I offer my pranams. Sai Ram.
Amazing experiences and Swami stories of his Vaibhavam. We also got a glimpse of what we are going to experience in the musical offering that is happening after the lunch prasadam in the afternoon. We mentioned about our brother Ananth Srinivas' professional, academic, and his accomplishments in music. But after his talk, we also now realize his physical abilities in the gym. They are also accomplished. I call upon the president of our Salisbury Sai Center to come forward. As a token of appreciation and love, we would like to honor our brother, guest speaker, Sai Ram.